and welcome to the second podcast of the Legends Podcast. It was such a great success last week that they've invited me back to do it all over again. Last week we were joined by the blindside flankers. This week we're joined by those who are supposedly meant to be the gobbiest players on the pitch, but I'll let you find that out. I'm joined by the number 9s, the scrum halves. To my left we've got Dave Mogsy Edwards, got Steve also, and we've got Beth and Davis. Did I get your names right? Yeah. Correct. No Andrew Clutterback's in there or anything like that. No. Perfect. Right, let's get underway, guys. Quick introductions. Dave, I'll start with you. Talk to me. First of all, what's your actual name? What's your Sils name?
My actual name is Dave, but yeah, my Sils name is Moggs or Mogsy.
Yeah. Why?
Well, without wanting to show my age, obviously, but I think back when I started senior rugby, which working backwards is in the late 90s, just before the turn of the millennium, a coach called Matthew Elwell gave us the name Mogadon. It's a total made-up word, but Mogadon down into Moggs is essentially where it comes from.
And Mogadon means nothing.
But I think if you Google it, you'll end up like working it back to like some sort of prescription drug. So like it's of nothing of fame and of nothing of like grandiose or anything. Yeah. So ignore the Google search and just yeah.
Love it. Well, yeah, so Mogsy is no longer Dave Edwards. Mogsy, talk to me about yourself. Fun fact, any hobbies, and then talk to me about your Sils career.
Hobbies, outdoors really. Hills, mountains. So I love getting on the mountain bike. Struggle to do it these days as much as I'd like. Skiing if possible, walking on the mountains. I don't know, something in terms of escapism, that's where I find. Equally in the ocean, to be fair, anything like outdoorsy like that. Don't get to do it as much these days. I've got 2 little ones, so 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, but they add lots of joy in many other different ways, shall we say.
But you can't ski?
I can ski, just not with them. Amazingly, not with them, not at the moment. So when I can afford it, when we go past the credit crunch and we can all afford it, and there's no rising costs and inflation and all that really boring stuff, then who knows what happens. So, yeah. And
then talk to me. So I said Sils career, rugby career, because you've not always been at Sils, have you?
No, not really. I mean, are we talking? Well, I guess predominantly it has been at Sils. I mean, I started like under 7s at Sils and sort of went all the way through. And then you sort of do things, go off to uni, was back at Sils for a little bit, and then a few little breaks in between. Somebody says, do you want to come back and play some rugby? So I played a little bit of rugby at what was then Solihull Rugby Club, based out of where, I think it was where Bees were playing, which was at the Sharmans Cross Road. There was a few actually who sort of came across. It was just fun times playing rugby with a few friends, essentially. And then probably roll forward another few years, back at Sils for a little bit, another break. I had about a break for like 5 years, and I think I started again in about 2017, so just before the pandemic. But that was at Camp Hill. So it's like, sorry for referencing all these swear words.
We were playing them earlier in the season. Everyone was like, "Oh, Mogsy's there."
Every time the Saxons went to play, he always played against us, and he was always the bloody difference.
We losing or winning?
That was basically just a friend who said, "Do you want to come and play?" Apparently, you're a veteran when you're above 35. So he said, "Do you want to come and play vets?" So that's how it all started, and then it rolls on. You play vets. You're like, actually, I quite enjoy this a little bit. Felt like I had a few more years of rugby left, and didn't want to give up. Having sort of had a few breaks, which are probably longer than they should have been for like stupid personal reasons, really. But yeah, that's just myself being silly a little bit, but that's just shit that happens, isn't it? So,
I'm not going to ask your age, but so you said you started under 7s. So you're now what, under 50s? How many seasons is that?
I'll be 40 next May.
40 next May. So what's that? 22 and 3 years. 22, 3 years. Yeah. It's a good old career. Speaking of long careers, Stevie also, talk to me. Introduce yourself. What do you like doing, and then we'll bring on to the rugby.
I started rugby actually quite late in my life, but my other main sport has always been sailing. Initially with dinghies, progressing up to keel boats, which I still perform. Championships, inlands, nationals. In the past, I was lucky enough to represent the escape country of ours abroad, in America and Canada. Which seems very strange for people who live by the sea. And then when they ask me where I live, and I say, well, the middle of England. You know, there's no sea
Central
around me, so
Birmingham.
how can I be?
You've got Alton
a
Reservoir, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
The Ellswood Lakes.
The Ellswood Lakes, which are very interesting places to sail. But yeah, I mean, a bit like Moxie, I'm very much an outdoor type person. I love dogs. I love dog walking.
Got any dogs?
We have a dog at the moment. Well, we have two most of the time because my daughter got hers during COVID. She used to live on her own, so she needed some company. Now that she's back at work and back at the office, the dog arrives at 8:15 in the morning and goes back 6:15 in the evening. So
living the holiday life.
Yeah, she's got the best of both worlds.
Double
in my
dogs.
opinion. So we got the two dogs. We do a lot of walking.
Like it.
I also ski. I didn't start skiing until probably mid-late 50s because my son decided to take up snowboarding. Became a very good snowboarder. So I thought I'd give this skiing thing a bit of a laugh. Typical rugby player, very gung-ho. You know, got to get from top to the bottom as quick as you can.
Yeah, no technique, just straight
Yes,
gravity.
I have smashed myself up a couple of times, and shoulder surgery and God knows what else. But yeah.
So, sailing, skiing, and then rugby.
Yeah.
Talk to me. So when did you start rugby?
I started rugby. It would have been under my first competitive games of rugby, under 15s at Silhillians School.
Under 15.
I was dragged off a pitch nearby to make the numbers up. The then master of rugby for the under 15s saw something that he liked, and before I knew it, I was playing scrum half for the under 15s. Then I managed to obviously went up to under 16s. At that point, other people decided there was something about me. I ended up going down to Roehampton Schools, Sevens, which was 18-year-olds, and I was 15. So that was
Experience?
big boy rugby.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and drinking. Sorry.
You can say that.
Not
We
underage
can say that.
Surely.
Not underage. No. Solihull School? No, we wouldn't do anything.
Nothing. No.
Um,
And then carried on then.
pretty poor at school, so I ended up doing O levels a second time. Didn't do any good a second time either, and just came up here. I'd already played for the Colts up here as a youngster, and all my mates were coming up to play here. I mean, back then, not that many people went to university like they do now, and those that did go to university tended to come back to this area because the families had their own businesses here, and you kept the whole club together.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, as we all know, people go to university and they get a job and it can be anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, good luck to them, don't get me wrong. When I joined the club, there was 6 sides. We ran 6 sides on a regular basis. My first game was in the 6th. My second game was in the 2nd. My third game was in the 1st.
Must have done something to impress then.
Yeah. Then everything was going fine until my right knee gave way when I was 21. Cruciate ligament. That put me out of playing any sports at all for a good 4 years. 4 years. So I became a dart playing, snooker playing, beer drinking.
All rounder.
And funny enough, during that period in time, I actually met my wife literally a month, 2 months before the knee finally gave way. So I did all the courting and what have you, and you know, we got married, and then I thought, so you go back to rugby. So
So you broke your knee to get back down on your knee to get up and play again.
So she thinks I've got her under false pretenses, which is probably very true.
Did you break it through rugby?
Yeah. Up on the first team pitch.
Oh.
Tackling a prop forward who's slightly bigger than I was, and I tried to stop him from scoring the try, which I did. Unfortunately, when I pulled him on top of me, my leg was
There it goes, like a Matt Spink type injury. That is not nice.
Originally, they thought it was a cartilage problem, so I carried on playing, and then on Boxing Day, I was running towards this ball, a high kick, was running towards it, went to stop, all their supporters are no further than that, all the way there is, and I kept on going. Put my knee down to stop, completely went, missed the ball entirely, and of course you can
Straight on through.
imagine the grief that I got from the Silhillians supporters. Yes, so that was, so then I was away later for 4.5 years, came back, decided that enough's enough, even though the knee was never really functional again. But got back into the first team, lost my biggest asset, and that was that first, as a scrum half, you've got to have that first 10, 15 yard turn of speed.
Just how you show it. It goes when you get old, mate. So is the
Beth still got it back into.
You've still got it. From what I saw with Beth the other day, she's definitely got it. No, so yeah, I had to adapt my game a bit then. I was very much a forward scrum half. I didn't really like giving the ball out to you. Nice chap from the back.
No, I don't want any.
No,
and now you're. What's your role at the Sils?
well, for the last 2 years, I've been trying to look after the Saxons.
Well, I wouldn't say trying. You've been doing a great job of looking after him.
Because nobody has any real interest in the second team, and that has been the same through other clubs as well as Sils. And after a couple of years, I suddenly started realising that other clubs were also having people come along and look after their second team, because obviously people are starting to realise that your second team players have got to be fit and ready to go up into that first team if they're called upon.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, we've had some good reports come back from guys who have gone up, have performed well, and the first team lads would say they're a little bit dubious to start with. You know, what's he like? Is he going to be any good? And they've turned out to be okay, and the attitude has been right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what I try and get across into the second team is get your attitude right. Yes, we want to win the game. Yes, we want to enjoy it. But you're a team. You've got to work as a team, and and help each other. You know, if it goes wrong, tap them on the back and say, "Don't worry, next time we'll get it right."
Fundamentals of rugby.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Well, you've been doing a sterling job of that.
And a lot of people seem to enjoy it. There's times when I wish they could find somebody else to do it. We've obviously gone through a rough period now over the last couple of seasons. COVID didn't help. A lot of guys, Mogsy being one of the exceptions, probably the only exception, who have got to sort of 34, 35, 36, and they've had 2 years off. Some of them have tried to come back and play, but it's just been they've been in such a bad state come Tuesday morning, not let alone Monday, Sunday and Monday. It's Tuesday when it hits you. That they feel that they don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I think we've suffered from that, and obviously the last couple of seasons we've had unprecedented injuries in the first few games of the year, which has actually blown apart any chance of getting a successful Saxon side.
Yeah, reserves that. Yeah, no, 100%. But I tell you what, I enjoyed my time in the twos with you, Steve. It was good. Stratford away, eh?
Yes, it's nice to be able to turn around to somebody like you and say, off you go.
Well, I don't know. We had a good team. We had a good team. I had Joe Bullock playing.
That Stratford game was a very, very good game. Moxie
was playing.
Yeah.
When did you come up then to the first?
I'd got injured against Leamington. That's it. Because there was like a game where we all got injured, and then did my shoulder, came out, and then Greg Taylor was playing quite well. And he's a good player, isn't he? So he's not bad. So I thought I'd get my legs back in, play for the Saxons. Thoroughly good fun. I'd highly recommend it to anyone. So join.
Yeah,
These your man. Get on it.
Won't be in much longer.
Well, long may it continue. Steve.
Thank you very much indeed.
Beth, the only nine who seems to have that first 10 second sprint in you. Talk to us about yourself.
Myself, what do you want to know? I mean, my nickname is Beth, I guess. I don't really have any other nicknames on the pitch, other than Loudmouth, probably.
Loudmouth, yeah.
Which is probably standard.
Yeah, standard over here.
I was a late bloomer into rugby because obviously for the women's team, women's sport, it wasn't really a thing at school for me. So I started at the grand old age of 29, played for 2 years, and I'm loving it still. And just feel it's one of the best things I've ever done, to be honest. I've always been quite a sporty person growing up in school and things, and sort of obviously my line of work is in music and singing and dancing and stuff, so I never really had the opportunity to continue playing sport once I left school. I mean, I literally came back to Solihull because I was living in London for about 10 years, doing the whole musical theatre scene down there. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do with my time? And there was nothing going around, and I always originally I started off playing hockey at the Sils because I used to be a hockey girl at school. Yep. And started going back there, but then the team that I was in was essentially just 12-year-olds and me. So I was like, I'm a bit out of my depth here, so I'm not going to continue doing that.
It's like Mogsy playing in the Saxons.
More or less.
I was thinking exactly.
And I don't know. I don't even know what thought process came into my mind. I just thought, I wonder if they've just got like a rugby team, because it was only really just establishing itself on television and things. And I've always loved the sport growing up, and was very much an avid Welsh rugby fan, being a Welsh person.
And Wyn Davis.
Wyn Davis, or as Wyn Jones, as you like to call me.
Wyn Jones.
But yeah, my grandmother loved it, and I think it's just been sort of, embedded into the family that we just follow the sport religiously. I saw that they had a rugby team at the Sils, or just a starting one. There was only 6 people when I turned up. It was a cold, wintry January morning, evening, sorry. And there was literally not many of us at all. It was just us literally passing the ball around. And over the course of like the last year, especially, just how much it's grown for the Sils.
Yeah, it's massive now, isn't it?
It's incredible. And what's been just so lovely about it is that
a fan of women's rugby over there.
Yeah. I'll play them later. And just amazing to see just how much it's sort of grown over the last year, especially. And just the diversity in women, I think, which is what's so important and what's so beautiful about the sport. It just brings in people from all sort of ages and all sorts of careers and stuff, and actually all we do is bond over rugby and just have a new friendship group, really.
I think there's more of you in the bar now on a Tuesday and Thursday than there are
than you guys.
men's. I know, being on and off the field. I mean,
absolutely.
We'll come to it later, but we were quite a lot of us watching you all against Stone, and some very good game, wasn't it, Steve? We'll come on to that later. Outside of rugby, you mentioned obviously singing, dancing.
Yeah, bit of a jack of all trades, master at none is sort of my method. I love to do everything. I don't know why. I just love to put my hand at everything.
Do you like doing podcasts?
Loved it. Well, I've done a bit of podcast editing in the past. Yeah, I don't want a podcast. I like to try things once at least, and then if I don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But,
no regrets.
No regrets. And I think you're never too old to start something. So, yeah, for me, even though my mother hates the idea of me playing rugby, obviously, Dad's cheering
all
outside.
No.
But are you a skier like us as well?
Yeah.
I did do it skiing when I was about 15.
There we go. We got skiers.
Yeah, at school went skiing,
What
but I
about
haven't
9
gone back.
skiing trips?
Let's do it.
I won't come then.
I might not have a team left.
We'll be lost.
Yeah.
We're talking about rugby. We'll start off. So on this podcast, we ask every member of the podcast to bring in something special from their rugby careers. Mogsy didn't get the memo, but we'll come on to his in a minute. Beth, what have you got with you?
My career is obviously 2 years long, so I haven't really delved into investing in anything else other than a tea. So this is my pride and joy, as I seem to be the scrum half that takes the kicks as well.
You do exceedingly well.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, Beth, talk to me about your special item.
My specialty is I went through a phase of trying out a load of different teas, which I didn't like at all. The first tea I had was literally like one of those little ones off the
circular
ground.
ones with the little spice.
And it is
awful is what they're called. I tried one the other day. They don't
it's
work.
It's really weird how your foot just like molds to a T and like just knowing like your kicking technique and things, and just working with different ones. But yeah, I tried out loads, and I tried out the little cylinder one, which sort of like pops up a bit, and that really hurt my foot. So yeah, I came across this little gadget, and it's been my friend ever since, really.
You doing it that way, or are you doing it backwards, or how you?
What is it?
With the ball.
Sort of just like.
Just going up and then getting through the ball.
Resting on it, really.
Yeah, because you're now Sils kicker.
I am.
Is that voluntarily or?
Leads me to the top spot, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you worried? You're the kicker for the.
I'm worried. Fancy game.
Where's that question?
I've been roped into one. I've been roped into it.
I've seen your attempt.
I've had a couple goodies and a few baddies for sure. Yeah, I got roped into that. But no, Tommy Lee's back now. We got Louis Roach, a couple of the new lads actually. Louis Roach joined the season. He's very good off a tee, and a guy called Ben Freeman, tall blonde guy. So hopefully I no longer need to kick and I can rest my quad, which has been hurting. But yeah, I use Tommy's too, which is really similar. How many conversions you on?
I don't actually know. I don't count.
You out doing the hours practicing, or?
I practice a lot, but just because I love it more than anything else.
Yeah, it's good for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always like kicking a ball, really.
Just throwing a ball about.
Imagine somebody else's face.
Yeah.
Just one of the way off.
Don't get too good at it, but I just really enjoy it, and that's sort of what I loved to do when I was a kid. Just sort of pretending to kick little tees and stuff.
Well, it's a good item considering you've only been playing rugby for 2 years.
Yeah, well, if I didn't have it, I'd freak out, I think. So,
you got the Sils jumper on, so that's that as well.
Yeah.
Steve, talk to me. We've got a couple things in front of us.
Well, the socks was a last moment thing.
Was it socks? I thought it was a scarf.
I'd hate to think how old these socks are, but when you consider what our colours are,
Are they old Silhillian socks?
They are the original old
Wow.
socks. And when we changed to the stripy socks, I always wore 2 pairs of socks anyway, because as a scrum half, you do get a few taps on the shins. Certain people, like flankers, when you're just going around the edge of the scrum and what have you. Well, in my day it happened. I don't know if it's allowed so much these days. Or
you get away with it.
The referees tend to, I think, look after the players a bit better these days than they did in my day. And people say to me, well, how much tougher is today's game compared to when you played? Well, my view on that is it's faster and it's quicker today. Back then, if you were in a maul or ruck situation, anything could happen.
Yeah.
People are allowed to come in from the side.
Just mind the windows.
If you were on the deck, people said hello to you with their studs.
I got studied on Sunday.
I think my head would be covered in scars from a number of cuts and what have you. But there again, when you're a scrum half, you're there to be taken. The big boys want you.
Yeah.
My view, and I'm sure it's the same with these guys, is come and get me then.
I'll bet it on you.
Not a scrape on it. Look, not a scrape on his beautiful face.
This is actually a doorstop, and I was actually trying to find an old leather ball, because the biggest difference that I think is actually the ball. When we used to play with these lovely, lovely things, it was fun when you got wet and cold, because the ball just got heavier and heavier and heavier as the game
Sits
went on.
inside it.
So you talk about you and your kicking too. All of a sudden, you're not kicking
I'd break an ankle and probably
you're kicking a brick. I mean, that's obviously heavier than it should be. And it's the slippiness.
It's got a good grip on it.
What I used to enjoy when it got really wet and what have you was the fly half would start moaning that you weren't passing the ball far enough. Because it wouldn't physically go through the air, because it would just drop because of the weight of it. So they had to come closer. And you know what these fly halves are like. They don't like coming close to where the big boys are.
Sod that, no.
Or you miss them. That's another story. So yes, I thought I'd just bring that over just as a...
It takes you back to the sort of...
these days, I'm sure in the depth of the winter, the ball is probably slightly heavier still, but it would not have the difference of the way that these things used to generate.
Yeah.
So that is one of the big differences, I think, in the modern day.
And it's quite cool. I think that's really cool level ball.
It's a lovely doorstop.
Does the business.
So leave it alone.
I'll take the hit. Mogsy, you decided to ignore the memo. No item. No, fear not. Do you want to talk to us? Well, talk to us about special memory then. You've had it, or special memories of playing rugby, or?
I mean, I could tell you if I had it, what it would be.
Oh, go on, what would that be?
But I haven't got it. It's at my parents' house, and I'm obviously just crap at doing what I was asked to do. So no, I got a trophy for Player of the Season in my first year at university, so freshman year, which was good. And we'd good in some respects. Wish it could have been better. We were in the Premiership or the top division of the Universities League. We just won it the year before, but that's when we were in what they called Borough Road. And I went to Brunel University, so Borough Road was kind of the sports campus of it. Sports campus was essentially all moving to a different area, so the team that we had was very different actually in my first season of arrival. So from going from the highs of winning like the university championships, we weren't competitive really in that first season. So I guess it's Player of the Season in a season which was a bit different, but it did enable us, having won that championship. You know, we had the University of Cape Town came over and they played against Oxford, Cambridge and ourselves as the champions of the English university. So, you know, it's like experiences like that. Whilst it necessarily wasn't ideal in terms of, you know, we were as competitive as potentially we were the previous season. Got stuck in, got involved and got Player of the Season.
All credit to you for winning that.
Super proud of that one. So
yeah,
that's what it would be. It's a nice little trophy.
Nice trophy.
You know, just imagine it.
Where does it sit?
It's
in the attic?
In the dining room of my parents' house.
How was the game against Cape Town?
It was alright actually, because we kind of had it as an invitational side, so some of the players that in those days
obviously you had like all of your sort of clubs that would put the players through university whilst they're going to like the academy sides. So with it being invitational, obviously we brought in some of the players and some of them were sort of currently, I guess, on the books at whether it be London Irish, Wasps, etc. So I got to play in the same team as them, and actually it was like super grateful because clearly obviously it was in the professional area they were training quite big guys because Cape Town were like huge. I remember this one night this guy was running at me. I mean I'm not massive, I'm not big now, but I wasn't knowing. I was a lot smaller then as well. This guy's running at me and I'm thinking oh no, and this guy Ben Gottings just comes in front of me and just takes me out. I was like oh, thank goodness for that. So, but no, it was great. It was like a great experience, big crowd, obviously a lot of drinks and stuff.
Great memory.
As a fresher, you can obviously probably.
I know
the type of it.
I know the ones.
Fun and it was
it's all part of that rugby experience.
Yeah, it was good. And I was the only fresher on the team, so you know it was a nice little claim for that season.
Oh, fair play to you.
Right.
Great memories. Right, we're now going to move on to you've got to go know these guys. We're going to look at this season so far. So I'll start, Mogsy, with you. You're obviously out at the moment with concussion, going through that protocol. So you weren't available for our game on Friday Night Lights. But you were there on the side, as Beth, you were as well. Steve, were you able to make the trip?
No.
That short journey?
I was in North Wales.
You weren't. Well, as you might be able to hear from my voice, it was quite a success. Off the pitch, on the pitch, didn't go as well as we liked.
Close game though.
It was a close
Very
game.
close game.
It was. Finished 24-19. What were your thoughts coming away from that game?
well, it's when you go 21-5 down, primarily down to discipline, it's an uphill battle, isn't it? Obviously, second half won that, but if you just cut out the penalties,
it was starting to sort of. I missed. So I was playing for against Melbourne before, and it's been feeling like it's starting to sort of get a little bit more cohesive, and feedback from the players on the pitch was certainly that has continued within the Moseley game. But yeah, to put yourself in such a deficit and a sort of mountain to climb, and potentially put the ref quite firmly against you by the sort of the first half discipline.
Yeah, and Luke Hoey off the pitch as well. He was a right shambles. He got the ref right offside.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but like the defence was incredible.
It's good.
To be fair, like to keep them off from scoring in that second half when they had a fair amount of possession and a fair amount of time within Sils 22. That was
pretty decent.
I think that's because I came off halfway through the second half, to be fair.
I didn't want
But
to
yeah.
make a comment, obviously.
No. But yeah, I 100% agree. Beth, you were there? Any thoughts on what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I thought you guys had a good comeback, and it was just, I think it just came down to sort of the early onset. We're quite similar in the sense, we start quite slowly, and then once we get into the game, we get rhythm, and actually we're a lot better performing. And I think it's just that initial, first 10-15 minutes when you're not woken up.
Yeah, I definitely think it's coming together. I think
Another couple of minutes.
I think what we're saying as well is we just need one, and then that ball will roll. We'll just find that, because obviously last season we've gone from winning 12 on the bounce to like now, obviously lost quite a few on the bounce, so we just got to go back in. And
You
I think
are upper season, upper league.
We are upper league. We are, which we knew is going to be difficult. So
It's not so much.
it's not like you said earlier. It's not how.
Once we get those injured players back,
Yeah, we've got a
then
few.
we're going to be stronger.
We've got a few coming back.
There
Yeah,
are some areas where we need a bit more experience.
for sure. Well, you say the Sirens are slow starters. Didn't start very slowly against Stone. What was that? That was 2 weeks. You were on a rest week last week,
Yeah,
and then
a week Sunday ago.
Yeah.
We've only because essentially we've only just gone into like our first official league. So we were obviously in a Warrior last year, and it was kind of like a sort of guide basic into rugby for us all, and to get the ladies experienced and get involved in tackling and all sorts of stuff, building their confidence. But yeah, we had our first league game against Clee Hill, I think it was, away, maybe like three weeks ago, four weeks ago.
yeah, I remember that's in Shropshire, right?
Yeah, it was quite a way away. It was a good drive away. But to be honest, I was going to say it's probably one of my best memories at Sils, just because we were down. I think we were down by a lot initially. I think it was maybe like 3 tries in. I can't remember exactly what the exact score was. But everything was just going. It was just one of those games where everything was just going against us. There were like knock-ons within a game. We played with 13 women for the majority of the game. And yeah, there was like a knock-on try, and we just lost all our sort of confidence within the ref, and our sort of mentality just went a little bit. But within like the last 10-15 minutes, we just literally came back and then won, and it was just one of the best feelings.
Unreal.
It's just one of the things that you don't give up until it's over, sort of thing. So yeah, I think that gave us a lot of confidence, and we had our first obviously home league game last week Sunday. I won that with 50 points, which was great.
Very good.
Very good.
performance. So,
Very
Steve,
good.
you were there.
I was there. I was very
We
impressed.
were.
Yeah.
I think you scored an absolute worldie of a try as well.
The end one.
Talked about the. You talked about that kicking tee. I don't think you needed where you were able to
A
get your
little
hands
chip
like
and
that.
chase,
It weren't
yeah.
bad, was it? It was
Which all
Brian
the coaches
O'Driscoll.
hate.
And then you talked about your kicking tee. You didn't. Well, unbelievable worldie of a try that you scored.
Thank you.
No need for a kicking tee when you're kicking out the hand like that.
Yeah.
Absolute jouet.
Always partial to a chip and chase.
Yeah.
Um,
Remember you were against old Leamingtonians as well.
Did I? Probably. I
There was one in there. Yeah.
The worst part about it was people were taking the mickey out of me for it, because I literally busted my knee like 5 minutes before in a tackle, which I failed. And like I just had this huge egg on my knee developing. I've actually, touch wood, never really been officially injured in the game yet. And I saw that, I was like, oh God, I'm going to freak out. So I literally went off and was like, get the dry ice.
Get the clutch wet
Get the
sponge
dry
on it.
ice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was
Clutch
like...
is good at that.
Clutch is good at the wet sponge.
He was, he loved a bit of dry ice.
You look at the physios. They're all looking professional. And we had clips on last week. Yeah.
Yeah. We had
I
about
thought
5
Clutch
minutes to
looked very
go.
nice last week.
Yeah.
The other Sunday.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, we had 5 minutes to go, and there was an error with drop-offs and drop-outs and stuff, and I was just like, I'm going back on to just take this drop kick, and then, yeah, the scrum came, and I was like, well, may as well just carry on.
Well, practice makes perfect,
Yeah.
and it was worldie of a try. Yeah, Steve, 52 points to 14, was it? 14,
Yeah, I mean,
17.
I'm sure that Connor had the right words afterwards about the tries that they did let in, which were far too easy, far too simple. You don't turn your back on anybody when they got a penalty 10 metres out.
Yeah.
And other bits and pieces, but I'm sure Connor will sort that out. And the girls themselves probably knew at the end of it.
We lose our
Not
discipline
to
in
do that.
defence.
Yeah. But for the first...
Some of the stuff was
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
It
Yes.
was good open rugby.
Proper fun to watch on a Sunday fun day.
Yeah, it's the first time I've actually come up to watch them, and it was an enjoyable afternoon.
Yeah,
It
thanks
was
very
very,
much.
very fun. And long may the
You
success
come and watch
continue.
in the Saxon.
Yeah, no,
Well, we'll come on to that. Your next game is
Sunday.
on Sunday, so you
Yeah.
had a rest week, now back. Who
Yeah.
you got and where?
I'll get this mixed up. It's like either Handsworth or Huddersworth or one of the
Han-
two.
Han-
I think Handsworth.
Handsworth, isn't that where they did that parish county council? Handsworth County Council, do you know the video in lockdown?
Possibly. It's
Might be.
friendly, so it's
Oh,
not like a
okay.
game.
Oh.
That one.
Oh. We've been told. Yeah, that's.
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure the other two are like 2 metres above us.
Sometime along the
We'll
line.
go optimistic.
And that is at home or away, Hassan?
It's away.
At.
Old Hell's
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's Hales Owen. That'll be Hales Owen if anyone fancies that trip down. And yeah, we've got, and then men's we've got Matlock. You're still, are you still away?
I've said I'm available.
Moggsy's back. He's done his 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if selected,
Bang on,
I'm
mate.
hoping. So,
Love it.
So yeah, we'll find out.
If
tomorrow.
not, he's going to come and have a run.
Have a row in the and then yeah, we're talking about the Saxons. Obviously, we haven't really, like you say, with injuries, we had 8 in the first 2 games in the one, so we haven't really been able to get a proper Saxon side out. But we had that game against.
No, that's not strictly true. On 2 occasions, we did have sides available, but badly let down. Both home games, badly let down by opposition, crying off on Friday mornings and Friday afternoons, and you got no chance of picking up another fixture at
No.
a late date. So that was obviously then. I presume we would have had 1 or 2 of the university lads were still here.
Yeah.
Luckily for the first team on a couple of occasions, to be fair. But yeah, we had a game a couple of weeks ago. We went to Leamington. We supposedly had 11. They said, come on over, whatever, because with this new RFU design to get people to play rugby and play 10s rather than 15s, and you still get league points and everything else, and you just meet up with your opposition and you decide the rules of the game then. And then
What are we doing here, guys?
You tell the referee how you're going to play it. So anyway, we bowled up there. 11 became 10 because one guy just didn't turn up. They loaned us 3 players, so we played 13 against 14 for most of the first half, which you've always got that extra man out wide.
Yeah.
We also found out at the Man of the Match and Dick of the Day awards afterwards that they had a guest playing at number 15. Well, that guest scored 5 tries. He was electric. His balance of running and sidestepping was unbelievable.
Better not have been Louis Roach just getting his legs back. He sounds pretty similar.
I don't know what his name was, but yeah, so that was a bit off-putting. And of course, as everybody tries to do, if you're giving the opposition 3 players, they're not going to be 15 you want to start with.
No.
And they were the one guy's played the whole game for us, to be fair, as a prop. He was actually good fun. He was okay. His fellow prop wasn't really that interested until he was playing against us, and the winger, I don't think he's actually ever played rugby in his life. It was anyway. We were under the clock.
That was Jamie Morrell, wasn't it? that was Potter from down.
The second half.
Now going to move on to a section called What the Ruck, which I've named bloody genius, actually, if you ask me, where we talk about all things rugby from the weekend. We'll start off, Beth.
Yeah.
Women's Rugby World Cup going on right now.
Yeah, I've caught glimpses of it.
You've seen glimpses?
I've witnessed my first female brawl the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the England. Who were they playing on?
France.
England, France. Yeah. Proper little brawl.
Really?
I was like, ooh.
What punches
Yeah,
thrown?
punches
or?
being thrown, all sorts. I don't even know what it was about, to be honest. But yeah, it was the first time I've witnessed that.
Yeah. Did
So
we
that was
win?
an eye-opener.
Did we win the game?
Yeah, we won.
We
Yeah,
did.
We
We won the
qualified,
fight.
yeah.
We won the battle. we
Yeah,
won the
yeah,
war as well. So that's the main thing. So 1066 reverse there.
Yeah, France are joint favourites, aren't they?
Yeah.
New
Was
Zealand.
it? Did you watch the game?
No, I just know the score and I know that they.
There was a great try, but I don't quite remember if it was
Is
a
it
French
Scarrett,
try
I think?
or.
Oh, no,
They must have been
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Flying
Scarrett
after the
scored.
little cross kick.
They must have even come down and watching you
I
playing
know,
on
yeah.
a Sunday.
French
French,
World Cup.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good try though,
Very good try.
to be fair.
No, definitely. And women's rugby, as you say, it's not just only at the Sils, but women's rugby really on the rise at the moment. No?
Yeah, and it's great. It's great to see it. It's great to see it on telly, and it's great to overhear men like yourself talking about it. And, no disrespect to you guys, but even my father, he openly talks about it now to his friends and things, and there isn't that, level of, some sort of comments.
Stigma type stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Some comments that are being made, but I think the more it just becomes, a normal conversation about, women in rugby, like the less that thing's going to sort of happen, and it will be celebrated more, definitely. But I do think it's on the rise, and I hope it sort of stays.
100%. And like we said, we've got Sils women, very strong team at the moment, very strong squad. Again, any women out there who want to try a new sport,
Get involved.
exactly. Joyce is doing a fantastic job there with the help of Klutz and co. What else have we got? Wasps. They've gone into administration. Last week on when we were with Klutz, it was was kind of rumoured. Now it's happened.
Disaster.
Yeah. Wasps, Worcester as well, but that had already been.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Worcester were undone by two immoral people. I understand that both those have been now banned for being directors of companies, which is great news. Wasps, difficult one. Should they move to Coventry? Probably not.
No.
Their fan base for the first, I know in the paper recently they were saying that the fan base when they first came here was like 40,000, and used to go down there, and they were all there. But over the years with COVID and everything else, people just can't be bothered to travel that distance anymore.
No.
So they lost half of their fan base.
And a lot of them were free tickets and stuff as well.
Lots of free ticket was going on. You're going into a stadium, which was a football stadium, so you got a lot of hatred from the football supporters.
Yeah.
Because they wanted their Sky Blues to be in that stadium. So I think there's a lot of negativity going on. The time it took them to found some decent training facilities.
Yeah.
They were just jumping from everywhere. I mean, old Leamingtonians had them for a short while, and everybody thought that was going to be their big new training area, but they decided that no, it wasn't right. Too much work needed to be doing, and now they've gone down to this glorious place just outside Henley. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
It's not for, but something that a lot of other clubs have probably sat there thinking, we've got to get ourselves sorted.
It's, mate, as well, the thing I've been thinking about, I think 165 people lost their jobs.
Yeah.
But it's not only that, if you
it's
think
not
of
just the rugby.
Yeah, it's
the netball
everything.
team.
Yeah.
And, what's the netball team as well? They've gone as well
Yeah.
because they were under that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So 167 people have lost their jobs. Yeah, it's tragic.
Now I'm going to move on to Heroes of the Game, which is a section where I have my scrum halves with me. I'm going to ask for their expertise and their wealth. I'm going to bring on their wealth of knowledge to tell me about their Heroes of the Nine, how it's kind of evolved. So yeah, anyone want to kick things off? Hit me with a Hero 9.
Go on, Steve.
I can't get beyond Gareth Edwards.
He's stolen Beth's answer.
Yeah, I know, and she can have the same one, and it would be great if all three of us agreed on that. But no, he of all the ones I've seen, he was the one that just stands out above everybody else. He made it look such an easy position. He always seemed to have so much time and space when no other scrum half ever had that time and space. He was just a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it's called that Wonder Try, is it?
Yeah,
Uh,
Barbarians.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if you played in like today's generation, it would be the same, or do you think the game was more
I
open
think
back
I
then,
think
so-
he was a player who would probably fit into
Yeah.
this. He was no slouch, as from that try. You know, he was quick, very robust, and I think as I said earlier, back in those days, you know, as a scrum half, you had to be pretty pain free, really, because they did come after you without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. Beth, are you going to...
Yeah, well, I would echo that. I'd say in today's generation, it's got to be Dupont. Have I stolen your answer now?
No, that's fine.
Steal each other's
We can have
answers.
different rationales, it's fine.
Dupont.
Just because for me, just the pleasure of watching him play, really.
So
He's
good,
just
isn't he?
do everything, can't he? And it's sort of what I think I love about scrum halves is that you can't always guarantee what they're going to do next, and that's for me. It's what is fun for me to play as scrum half, because I like testing the defence and looking for gaps and all sorts of stuff. But he is just one of those players that anything's on offer, and if he has an opportunity, he's going to take it. So I'd say.
Yeah, he's a real one to watch, isn't he? I wasn't able to watch Gareth Edwards live. I always remember that try, but
YouTube.
really, yeah, YouTube. Yeah, I probably should, but
Quite get it, you know,
he's just missed that cut-off point.
in the flesh. Yeah.
But I obviously watch the Pont, not week in, week out, but whenever there's internationals, I sometimes watch him for. He's Toulouse, isn't he? I think, with Antamac. He's unbelievable. So that's such a good shout. Mogsy, so we got...
I'll come back to it then. I'll echo on Dupont. I just think he looks so comfortable on the ball. And he just, obviously, his ability to create something and nothing, to your point, is just I guess it just, like you said, effortless, or, when most people would probably, get a little bit scared. He's just very cool and calm, isn't he? And I think the other bit, he's always the man. He's always seeing the supporting line, hence why he picks up so many tries. And just to have that sort of foresight, just to always be on that shoulder, just if I was a little bit faster,
that could be you.
A little bit fitter,
and French.
I'm French.
David Edwards.
and generally better.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not bad. Anyone else you could think?
In terms of legends, I mean, I'd go, obviously Gareth Edwards is a legend, but I think growing up, the 97 Lions, when they went to, obviously, South Africa, won, etc., living with the Lions video, but Matt Dawson in that test, and he obviously does
That one. Yeah, the other.
But and he's a character as well. He's a sort of a bit of a typical 9, probably quite gobby on the pitch, probably really annoying to play against, but got quite a good chat about him.
He's great on Question of Sport.
Very
good on Question of Sport.
Yeah,
Him and Ali McCoist.
Unreal. He'd be my legend.
Any other 9s? Obviously Dupont flying about for modern day players, but anyone else?
You can name
Rob
Faf de Klerk. I love watching Faf de Klerk.
Just trying to
Like
kick
annoying.
so much.
So he's typical.
Yeah, he kicks too much.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad kick, is it?
No. In your face.
Who was the Australian?
George Gregan.
George Gregan.
Yeah.
Genya was not bad as well, but
Genya,
Gregan
was in that era as well, when obviously they were winning the world.
In that era. You can go through them all.
Yeah.
I might even find a Scottish one if I really tried.
You're not going to say Laidlaw, are you? No, we've got to go further back than that.
Semi-joking, actually.
I don't think then it's possible. Yeah, the 9's a position. It's always sort of at the centre of the game. Obviously, it's part of the job, isn't it?
They play and I played. Because of that.
Yeah.
You are the centre of attraction. You are that linchpin. And yes, you do have to be gobby. Sometimes referees don't like it. Sometimes they do like it.
Yeah.
You soon find out.
I almost got sin bin the other day for being too cocky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. What did you say?
It's not because I'm being rude or anything. I'm just one of these players, and it's probably really annoying for a ref. But if I see something, I'll always shout it just to reiterate it myself. I mean, if I see it, I can't help but call it myself. So they just find it quite, I think, just condescending.
It happens.
I've actually
Speak
been
before you
asked
think
to
something.
from the touchline in the last few years. I think I'm getting worse as I get older. Actually.
Wow.
But they miss things, you know?
Yeah.
They
They
just
do.
hate being told that they miss it. Don't they?
Just don't like being yapped at.
Yeah.
Perspective on the touchline though is that the referees will hand you their little flag and say, "Don't lose it." No, I won't. I lost it at limits.
Did you? Too busy front.
No, I just forgot to bring it out with me. Then he went missing. But he said to me, if you see anything, talk to me about it. So I did. And he says, I'm refereeing this game. And I said, but you said, and then he looked at me and went,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
And that
experience,
annoys me,
mate,
but
isn't it?
I have been told to.
Yeah. That's the Nines.
Luke, how we could do it.
Yeah, he could 100% and lay off the beers. Yeah, but yeah, always respect the referee. These guys, yappy. Right, World Cup is next year. We've got actually 2 infiltrators within this table. On the wings, both Welsh, David Edwards and Bethan Wynne Davis. Steve Allsop and also, I need to get the legend's name right. Steve also and myself. But do you two want to pick who would you be starting for the Welsh team in the World Cup? You can have English as well if you want. But
9, yeah, obviously.
yeah.
I don't think we've really had a solid 9 for ages. I thought Gareth Davis was in the running for a while, but he was really poor last
Who was
in the Lions? He kicked the ball out. He didn't kick the ball out when he should have done. He just still carried on or something. I think it was in the Lions tour, which was the worst decision he made. But I don't know. Really.
When I saw he got injured, went off to France and came back and hasn't really lived up to what he used to be, was Rhys Webb. Who was looking class, obviously then hadn't played enough games. He went to Toulon, hadn't played enough games for Wales, but obviously career-wise, maybe financially, took that decision.
Yeah.
But since being back, I don't think he's had.
I really liked him. I thought for Wales he was class, and then he's kind of gone. You got Thomas Williams.
He looks like he's got
one
something. It's just I've not necessarily seen it really sort of turn into something which is a real sort of inspirational on the pitch and led the team just yet. But he's probably the first choice.
You've gone from kind of having Mike Phillips for that age of 2007 to 13.
Yeah.
And then ever since then you've had not really a 9 who's held down shirt for over a couple of seasons. Who's starting then?
What? Oh well, yeah, I'd probably go Thomas Williams.
Thomas Williams. Yeah. Thomas Williams starting a 9, and then bring on the England debate.
They're the same though, in my eye. Thomas Williams and Gareth Davis are quite similar now. They've got the same haircut.
All small.
We'll cover both bases. We'll say
both. Whichever one's played. Whichever one.
They're twins. Yeah.
Well, I think you've got a chance of being right. And then we'll wear the rose. England. There's quite a few choice at the moment. English 9s.
I think Eddie Jones has got to make a decision. He's getting too many involved. And he's not giving any of them a really good long stint at the job.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's finally decided that Danny Care's not what he wants.
Yeah. There was that talk for a while last season or 2 seasons ago, wasn't there? That
just gone, wasn't it? Yeah, just Australia still just gone.
For Harlequins, he was playing exceptionally well. Should he have gone to Australia? No. He should have taken one of the other younger scrum halves. I know the Sale lad was out injured, wasn't he?
Rafi Quirk, is it?
Quirk. I like him.
Yeah.
I do like him.
You got Harry Randall at Bristol, Jack Van Portfleet at Leicester.
I think Jack has got a better opportunity. Harry looks too slender, too thin. It doesn't look as if he should be on that rugby pitch. He's a phenomenal player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
and he's hard as nails. But he just doesn't look hard, whereas Jack does. I think Jack, under the guidance at Leicester of Ben Youngs, has improved immensely.
Yeah.
So he might be my outside choice for the World Cup.
Or Ben Youngs. Would you start Ben Youngs?
No.
All right, well, cheers, Steve.
No, I think he's...
No, I agree.
People know him too well. The trouble is when you get onto that international stage, you get dissected by all sorts of people from all sorts of angles, and the opposition get it rammed into them as to whether he's good on his left foot, he's good on his right foot. You know, he tends to want to do this. Ben Youngs have sorted out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as you get slightly older, I mean, Beth's a long way from this, you know, that little bit of speed goes. I mean, Ben Youngs has found a couple of gaps recently, but he can't get through them.
Yep.
He's lost that little bit of gas.
Zing. Yeah.
You know, I'd take him as a squad member.
Yeah, you might have him on the bench now. If you're having a tough game, you bring on a bit of experience, don't you? That might be the role that he plays, I guess. But I agree with you. You shouldn't be starting him.
No.
So.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I've just thought of as well. Leicester have got Richard Wigglesworth, Ben Youngs, and Jack Van Poortvliet. That's some.
Wigglesworth on night is doing a fair bit of coaching behind the scenes.
Is he? Right. Okay.
That's part of his move was that.
Right. Okay.
The coaching side, and yes, you know, he did play a lot of games. Was it last year?
I think
The year before, when the COVID was really hit, he was playing a hell of a lot of games then. But yes, I mean, so he's got. Young Jack's got two very good, competent players there.
Yeah. You're
coach him very well.
So you're going Jack start?
I'd go Jack.
Jack to start.
Yeah, I'd go Jack.
Yeah,
I'm probably the same.
Jack.
Absolutely windy kid.
I don't know who I would then have on the bench.
Yeah, it's a tough one because it depends. We've got Harry Randall who just brings something in terms of electricity, but then in a World Cup, when it comes to knockout,
you might want somebody to.
Yeah, it depends. It depends what Eddie wants, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it not all about just Marcus Smith on the English squad?
No, we can't put him at 9, unfortunately.
No, not 9, but anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, well, give him the ball, give him the ball, and we might win. Yeah. No, but yeah, we'll go Jack Van Poortvliet and Thomas Williams / Gareth Davis, very indecisive, and there.
We need a new scrum half, basically.
Yeah, someone from Wales coming through. Actually, speaking of which, I know Ellis Bevan. He could be the next there. He plays for Cardiff Blues, and he's a friend. So maybe plug. Just
drop it out.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'll get you all 3 Welsh tickets. And then we're going to move on to a new section. Well, it's all new really. Copt Heath Classics or Junction 5 Jams. I'm yet to decide on a name. It's basically our version of Desert Island Discs. Except you're not rating that one, Steve. We're looking at members' favourites, kind of films, books, who you least want to take on the island. But we'll start with the old classic favourite choice of takeaway.
You're looking at me, obviously, to go.
Well,
okay, I'd probably go Indian, to be honest with you.
Indian.
Yeah. Especially when you haven't had it for a while, or you come back from holiday.
Nice Indian.
Totally Indian.
Totally Indian.
Absolutely.
Any favourite Indians? Well, Beth, would you be in?
I like an Indian, yeah.
Where are we going in for our Indian?
Is this here? It's
yeah,
not like
let's
take
say
it to a
you
desert
finish
island.
Sils. Well, yeah, you can take the Allura to this desert island. off the cuff, where are we going for our curries round?
Curry Republic.
Curry Republic.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I've never been there. Yeah, I quite like Roma in Bentley Heath.
Yeah.
Roma.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty good.
Roma as well?
Yeah.
No, that's where we're getting our curries from. Did you like any other takeaway that you wanted to say, or just got drawn into Indian?
There's a lot of things that come in the equation, and it depends on the weather and all sorts of stuff. Like if it's a cold day, it's a hot day. This is a woman answer.
Cheers.
Now.
What kind of island is this?
I don't think that's ever bothered me, to be honest.
But yeah, that's good. An Indian is a good shout. Gonna go. What should we go? We'll go favourite film.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, that's a good film. Yeah, that's a real good film.
Favourite film?
You can have a couple. I like talking films.
Top Gun.
Oh.
Top Gun. Yeah. Is that the one with Tom Cruise in?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, evidently. Yeah, I've heard of it. I know it, but I need to see it. I've got a lot I need to watch.
No, the original, not the most recent one, because they've brought out a sequel, haven't they? The original Top Gun.
The original Top Gun.
You're
I'll
telling
come
me
up
you
with
haven't
another one in a minute.
you haven't seen the original Top Gun?
I don't think I've seen the new one, to be honest.
I've seen the new one.
No, I don't think I have. Film?
So I'm amazed about that. How old are you? To be honest, growing up, it's like Braveheart. I watched a lot of that.
Braveheart.
That's it really. But Gladiator is same kind of type of
Gladiator.
film, isn't it, really?
Gladiators. Russell Crowe, unbelievable actor, isn't he? Yeah, I love that. I watched, just off the cuff, The Gentleman. Has anyone seen that? Came out 2019. Unbelievable film. I was literally, while I was late today, I was watching. Yep. And I fell asleep. But apart from that,
Leon was another one. Have you ever seen Leon?
Leon.
Yeah, Hitman.
I haven't, no,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I've
it's
heard
one
about it.
What's her name? Porter. You remember him? Natalie Porter. When she was like proper young, and she's just Anyway, so it's a long time ago. But that's a good one. Worth watching. Yeah, good.
He wasn't saying it's a good film. It's a good film, mate.
I'm not saying no.
No, that's a crap film, that, mate.
You can't mention that.
Right, favourite drink post-match?
It's a bit seasonal actually to the best point, but again it's the winter months, it's Guinness.
Yeah, and then summer months, what, you having a mojito or something, or a Pimm's post-match?
Yeah, you know. No, it might be something more like a what we got here. We've got shipyard, haven't we? So that type of more refreshing, bit of carbonation in it, so more close to a lager, pale ale
more
type
like
thing.
Corona type thing. That's a good shout. Steve? Stowford Press, yeah. Whenever, wherever. Doesn't matter the weather, the season, the island.
Whatever.
Yeah. during the game, anything.
Not these days. It used to be the case once upon a time. But,
yeah, Stowford Press. And Beth, you're
My
on
tastes
G&Ts at the moment.
Yeah, my tastes are ever changing, to be honest. They develop with age, don't they? I don't know. Well, I didn't used to drink beer before I started rugby. And
Oh,
now
really?
I'm really partial to like a bottle of Peroni or
Partial
something. Yeah,
to
I just can't do the whole beer, in a glass thing. I don't know. It's the same thing, I know it is,
okay,
but
as long as it's
I just have to do
alcohol, it's
like bottled beer or a gin and tonic probably.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Favourite book?
Oh.
I haven't read a book in bloody years. So if you haven't got one,
Bridget Jones's Diary.
Bridget Jones' Diary. Do you know what? I'm not even going to ask her. I'm not even going to pretend. Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's great.
I'm assuming so.
It's great. It's just like humour, and it's about.
Bridget Jones?
You've seen the film, right? You must have seen the film.
I haven't seen Top Gun.
Oh
I
my
haven't seen
God.
Bridget Jones.
How have you got away with?
I'm going to go through all these podcasts
podcasts
and just go through everything.
Wow.
Read every book and every film that's on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, just about a woman in her 30s going through single life and a bit of a midlife crisis, which is perfectly fitting for them.
Sounds thrilling.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's great.
Me?
Yeah. Any favourite book?
Any book done by Will Smith.
No, good.
Will Smith.
Wilbur.
You could be called Will
I
Smith.
didn't know you meant that.
Wilbur.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in there. Yeah, that'd be long.
You've been reading the West Philadelphia born and raised.
Apocalypse. No, Will
What
Smith.
kind of?
But it's going back in time. A lot of it is to do with the Courtney family, and you're going back to 1600s, and it's just you're following the family through, and a lot of it is based out in Africa. So the fights are obviously, you come across natives with spears and what have you, and the wars that were out there, and that they get involved in those. So it's like a family history. You're just following this name through the years.
Nice.
It's just oldie-woldy.
Nice. Okay, favourite book? Do much reading?
I'm not a massive reader, to be honest with
You
you.
read your kids? You enjoying the Hungry Caterpillar?
Had a pig.
It's a boomer.
Read
That.
that, yeah.
It's probably the last book I
Going on a
read.
bear hunt and all that type of
Oh yeah, the old classics.
But no, when I did have time to read, like Joe Nesbo, so like it's Norwegian crime, thriller, drama type thing. He's got like a 6 or 7 books. I was slowly working through them, but I've kind of been slowly working through one of them for maybe 4 years now.
Yeah.
You can't even say you're slowly working through it. It's just on shelves with the bit in the middle.
The
holiday read.
Yeah, I did try and pick it up on holiday.
You read that first chapter.
You had to go back again.
Yeah. So
Fair
it's parked at the moment.
Well, nice. Something in your match day bag. Let's say we're playing on an island where you're playing rugby that you couldn't be without. That's a bit different.
Dude, I mean, I don't really have anything of like particular like weirdness or within my kit bag. But I guess if we're talking, you know, we're in this club at Sils, you have to have your little chip, don't you?
You have to have a chip.
That's in the kit bag.
Good shout. Make sure.
Sometimes gets forgotten to be taken out of the kit bag when we go into the bar. Not that it should have been. Thankfully, when we went to Newark on the coach trip and it got cold, I had it in my pocket. On that
Yeah. I need to learn from you and start packing mine on match days. Anything? Did you have any superstitions or anything?
My socks.
Socks? Yeah, you pack them. Your double socks.
Must be double socks. No, not really. The only thing I'd really make certain I had was a gum shield.
Just to be sure.
Bizarre that you do. And of course, you know, some shampoo for afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice smelling stuff.
And I'm just presuming yours would be.
A swig of perfume, you know, you've got to smell nice when you go out on that.
Oh, really?
But no. I play in gloves, actually. Yeah.
You got the old classic style.
Fingerless little thingies. I don't know why. My hands get cold and they don't really provide much warmth, but I think maybe it's sort of like, I don't like the idea of obviously breaking my fingers being a musician and stuff, and they won't do anything. I literally have worn every match with these gloves.
I think they make them worse. When I used to wear them when I was like younger, I always used to think the tips got like way colder because of the difference.
But they are slightly a little bit gripped, like not like gripped. I've just got sellotape on my hands, but
gluing the ball.
Yeah, but like handling a ball now without the gloves is a bit weird for me, which is probably the wrong thing.
In the NFL, they've got like proper gloves and they're proper sticky.
Yeah, they stick, don't they?
Like, you know, and actually they have a full tip, but problem with there being a bit sticky, I guess.
I don't think you can play. Yeah, you can't.
You try and pass it.
Yeah. I didn't think you could play in like the proper ones. I thought you have to have them like fingerless. They have to be specifically rugby.
I didn't know in uni. NFL's probably different, I guess. But
maybe.
I'm not sure. And then, so do you know what? That's going to be the Cop Teeth Classics. I'll think of some more. Going to go Junction 5 Jams. So M&J's Festival is some point next year, celebrating our 90th anniversary at this great club. So when I'm DJing my 1 hour set, I'm going to pick a few songs that I'm going to play out. So I want you to pick a song. It can be any era.
Just say my own, aren't I?
No, well you can plug it. You can plug it for the camera.
Get to Know You by Beth Ann Wynne.
Oh, is it? Go on, give us a rendition.
No.
See, is that?
We'll just retire.
Yeah, into it. Well, I'll put.
It's a banger. Get that in the
I'll
playlist.
be sure. You'll have to come on stage and sing it rather than play
after
it.
a couple of gin tons.
Yeah, a few gin tons on the house.
Yeah.
Bat out of hell. Meatloaf.
Bat out of hell.
Bat out of hell. Meatloaf.
You seen the musical?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Very good.
There we go.
Were you in a musical?
I wasn't that one. No.
Not that one.
No.
Not that one.
Just for the audience of Mini and Juniors. So.
We ain't having Gangnam Style or anything.
That wouldn't be for me, but no. If it was sort of like growing up, it would probably be something like From the Prodigy, but you know, the kids probably wouldn't know that too much. But, you know, like,
is that like
music for the dual generation?
Firestarter, is that Prodigy?
Yeah, well, that's when they sort of became more well known. But the albums before that was Voodoo People.
Proper old school.
It's like, I think it's probably classed as what original rave music where it comes from.
Got you.
So, and in your younger age, it's probably more like EDM or something. Is what they
I got 21 seconds ago.
EDM. There will be some electric dancing going on with my set. So those were, do you know what? They were completely different to last week. So we had complete karaoke last week.
Did Emma say Cotton Eye Joe by any chance?
She didn't. She said...
Cha-cha slide.
I can't remember what she said. It's on a playlist, so if anyone wants to follow that playlist, I'll put it on my Spotify and I'll get all those songs on there. So feel free to do that. It wasn't Cha-Cha Slide.
Plugged my own.
You plugged your song, I'm going to plug my playlist. We'll get yours on there as well. Now, final section, junior play, just to finish things off. Quick fire questions. Like, snap. Biggest pet peeve? Something that annoys you the most?
Ambiguity.
Wow, that's a great answer. Didn't even ask you before. Do you want to be ambiguous with that answer? What does that mean?
Well, yeah, it's attention to detail, isn't it? And if you provide someone with half the detail, then you're thinking, what have I got to do here? If you provide someone with like a full, you know, this is what you got to do, or this is this is what you talk about, then you can read it and understand it, then there's no ambiguity, is there? So that would be...
Yeah, that's a fair
probably
answer.
work related and the frustration from that, but,
Bad day at the office, isn't it?
it's busy at the moment.
Well, that answer was not ambiguous, I agree. Steve, anything that really... Grr.
Yeah, people who allow their dogs to poo over and don't pick it up.
Yeah, that is a
Very
really good
annoying.
one. That's a good one.
That is atrocious.
Yeah, it's annoying.
And, the trouble is, when you're out walking and your dog does something and people see it, they still have a go at you, even though you picked it up,
Yeah,
because they're not dog people.
yeah,
But no, it riles me.
yeah.
That and people cycling down canals and they don't give way to people who are walking.
You ever been one to just kind of like throw the shoulder in?
Yeah, I've had close
I can imagine. I can seriously imagine that. Yeah, no.
So I just stand there
Yeah. I can imagine.
and they just put the anchors on and then they sort of look at you as if you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
So,
No. Beth, anything noisy? Pushing people into canals?
No pushing.
Ambiguity?
No, it's not on the radar at the moment. Engine revvers for me. I hate engine revvers.
Oh yeah.
no.
These are some good pet peeves actually.
Yeah. And lateness. I don't like people who like take the piss with other people's time. I think that annoys me.
That's not a good one.
So is it time to go?
Yeah. Oops.
No, you got a rev engine. You got a,
Oh, you
Yeah, but
for a
I'm-
rev engine?
I'm talking like, you know,
Just going-
18, 19-year-olds who've just got, you know, this
Yeah.
tiny little Ford car
I know where you're coming
and
from.
just be like huge engines just for the purpose of it.
Yeah.
I know where you come
Good
from.
shout. Pineapple on pizza.
It's not my preferred choice, but I'd still eat it.
See, I don't like ambiguity. Do you, Moxie?
That's fine.
Was it maybe? See, pineapple on a pizza. No, not pineapple on a pizza. Moxie,
Yeah,
pineapple on a pizza. Yeah.
All happy with pineapple.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Night in or night out?
It's probably more fun a night in these days.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd like to have a night out, yes please.
With your EDM music, yeah. Night in,
Night out at my age. It's easy to remember them.
night out,
No, night.
night in.
I don't know, split personality, basically.
You're really getting to Moxie.
Decisive. It's a little bit different to ambiguity. It's very, very
I
different.
love a night in,
Yeah.
I like a boogie or a night out, so I like both.
I like it. I like it.
Night in if you have to choose.
Least want to corridor at the Sils. Do you know what corridor is? Least want to like run it. Yeah. Least want to run it straight. Least want to fight in the Sirens team.
Grace.
Yes.
She'd give the gift of the gab, but she wouldn't have any, like, you know.
Kate Darlington at 12.
She would back anybody up.
Yeah, she was putting some shots again against
Yeah.
against Stone. Steve, anyone in the old changing rooms? Any other legends of the club?
Any other legends of the club?
Oh wow.
No, all legends would have been happy to get involved.
Yeah.
Those that wouldn't. I don't know. I can't really think. Well, I'm sure we could if I had time. I haven't got time. Don't know.
No,
Pass.
don't know.
So we think about people who won't get involved in a fight, or
Someone who you wouldn't want to run like you wouldn't
Oh,
run.
right.
Sorry.
My
Never
first
right,
answer was
right.
woman, because Grace wouldn't want to get in a fight.
Oh, I thought. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that Spinky? I mean, like in training, when he got the bags, like absolutely just like he's double and more the size of me and solid, isn't he? So
Yeah. So who would you least want to fight in the
Who I'd
Sirens?
least want to fight is probably.
You'd want to take on Kate.
No, I wouldn't want to fight Kate, but she also wouldn't ever.
Right.
Like on a night out, she's the most sort of like
Yeah.
calm figure. We're all a bit
Right, yeah.
And, like the irony that she's younger than us, but she's just ends up looking after us all more or less. But yeah, I probably wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of her either.
Yeah. Kate on both fronts.
do you answer this question as
Spinky.
well?
What would I say?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to run it myself, but if I had to pick,
Come on.
we've got a few. Spink's a good shout. GT,
Yeah.
powerful runner, and Mo, obviously.
Oh yes, good
Mo's.
shouts.
Mo's a big runner. Well, that seems to be it, I think. I ain't got any more questions, which is a bit weird. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on this podcast. Number 2, all the nights have been thoroughly enjoyable. We'll be back for podcast 3 next week. But for now, thank you very much and see you later.